In my Sub-Zerosphere video, I said that if that video got to 10 likes, I would rank all February highlights, and wow, you guys destroyed that goal. Alright, well I guess I'm making a ranking all February highlights video. Let's go! First up on the list, we have Sakura Falls, made by VoidX and iKnightV. This is a pretty cool map. I love the theme of this map. The hearts floating around looking like leaves is a really nice touch, and the soundtrack, I'd love to listen to that for hours. Maybe not when it's at max volume, but like, turn it down like, I don't know, 6 decibels, and it'd be perfect to listen to. My only issue with the map is that the indications at this part right here of the map are just a bit confusing. Everywhere else isn't too bad though, giving this map a 7.3 out of 10. Moving on to the normal map. Unyielding Dusk, which was made by Linear WQ, is the normal highlight for this month. This map is decent, I guess you could say. It kinda goes by its own theme and doesn't seem like it's based on any other map. People say that it's just a sadder or more depressing version of Decrepit Seas, and I guess I kinda see it. The atmosphere looks pretty similar, and the soundtrack almost sounds like the other soundtrack when you hear it for the first time. But one thing I want to talk about is that the sight reading is surprisingly very easy. I thought I would pull a Sakura Falls and die a couple of times before beating it, but no, I beat it in one try. Overall, pretty decent. My final rating is 6.6 out of 10. Let's kick it over to the hard map now. For hard, we have Toybox Trouble, made by Tony33344 and Scorching Sethi. Dang, this map is great. They took a unique theme that probably no one else has ever done before in Flood Escape 2 and turned it into a map. Basically, you're inside a giant toy box full of toys, which is very cool. And they even pulled a Club Quarry and made the xylophone play notes. They've got a huge variety of toys, like building blocks, Legos, Rubik's Cubes, NES games. It's just absolutely wild. And even if the soundtrack just sounds like one of those super mega fun obbies, it hits pretty hard, not gonna lie. This map is definitely an 8.6 out of 10. Moving on to the insane highlights. Hallowed Vestige, made by AusteriLit, Bands Right Here, and Anglenad, is our insane highlight for the month. And I'm gonna be completely honest, this one is probably my least favorite of all the highlights for this month. I mean, it's definitely better than Blooming Lagoon. Like, if that's the question, yes, I think it's better than Blooming Lagoon, Cursed Jungle, Malter's Valley, maps like that. But the map just somehow feels kinda boring. I guess it has some good decorations and the soundtrack is alright, but it just doesn't spark joy to me. Plus, the map just seems like an October highlight. I don't know why it was highlighted for February, but either way, the map just isn't that cool in my opinion. I'd have to give this a 6.3 out of 10. By far the lowest rating on the list. Moving over to Crazy now. Alright, now we're getting to the good stuff. For Crazy, we have Casino of Envy, which was made by Rarehead Dress and Gam73. I wasn't really a huge fan of this map at first. It could have been because of the invisible barriers placed everywhere, but even then, I thought the gameplay and deco just didn't seem that nice. But the more I kept playing it, the more I started to really warm up to it. It's actually pretty fun to play, and I assume they were kind of going old FE2 style with the platforms and stuff, or it could just be that it's a casino and I guess it's supposed to be basic. But either way, it doesn't bother me too much. And also, Lemmy did an amazing job with the soundtrack. It sounds really good. I personally think this should be FE2's 8th permanent Crazy, because not only is it made by an OG and a really good map maker, but there's also no other maps in the main game that use the cool camera effects. My final score is an 8 out of 10. Moving on to the final difficulty of the list. I think the moment you've all been waiting for, Sub-Zerosphere, made by Noomlek. I don't even need to explain why I love this map, but I will anyway. He took such a broad theme of it being snowy related and turned it into a Crazy Plus map with fun gameplay and awesome decorations. And this is definitely easier than any other Crazy Plus maps I've played. I mean, it's got some long jumps and harsh pacing, but if you actually know what you're doing, it's not too bad. And do not forget about the soundtrack. The soundtrack hits super hard. Definitely a 10 out of 10 soundtrack. Much better than the placeholder one. My final score for this beauty of a map is 9.3 out of 10. Overall, February has some pretty dang good highlights that are actually permanent worthy. Let me know what you guys think of the highlights in the comments, and I'll see you guys when the March highlights come out. Peace.